Dear God, please help your children, Hashem. You made the whole world for us. If there was no Torah, there would be no day and night. And who did you give the Torah to? To us. To us. Yes, we fumbled the bag. I admit that, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But look at some of the tests that you put in front of us. I know if you give us the test, we could pass it. I'm not saying no, I know that. But most of your children don't know that. Look how the Satan had the power to hijack the world, yo. Think about it, yo. We pay people to oppress us. It happens in schools. You pay the school board, they take your money, and they teach your kids critical race theory. Like, yo, wrap your head around that, yo. You pay city taxes, they take that, they make it 25 miles an hour on Queens Boulevard and murder your soul, yo. Think about that. And you paying for this, yo. Come on, man. And I'm going to talk about the Satan right now deep so you get an idea of who he is. You see this kid that went into the school and killed 19 children? May they all rest in peace. You see little kids like that, those are little angels, really, if you really think about it, because they came back to this world. Some of them came back, just God forbid, for a parent to get a punishment to lose a child. They could come back to the world. I know that sounds so hard to hear, but I promise you, death, destruction, things like this that you see with your eyes, tragedies, catastrophes, are all coming from sin. I know it doesn't make sense. So you broke Shabbat 30 years, so he took away your kid. It doesn't seem like it balances out. Go look at the way Hashem operates, and you're going to see it does balance out like that. I hate to say, even myself, I get scared to say it, but there's no other answer. Like the Holocaust is, to me, the biggest proof for me in my mind that Hashem is the realist, because that's so beyond nature that only God could direct that. And now that he directed it, and you look at the punishment that we got, for what? For sins. And he said it in the Torah. That's another proof. That's what's crazy if you really break it down. And he said, if you follow my laws, I'll bless you. If you don't, you'll get cursed. Bro, he made the tribes go up on mountains and yell it out. What are you talking about, bro? He's not hiding any of this. It's all in the Torah. It's these rabbis that hide it. Yo, oh, yeah, God doesn't punish. Yeah, do whatever you want. Yeah, I'm religious in my heart. Yeah. Come on, bro. That's one of the dumbest things. God forgive me. It's one of the silliest things, foolish things. Yo, this is actually, you know what? I'm not going to say it because it could be a little condescending, but a friend of mine came up with something really good. But I'm not going to say it because it's borderline. I'm trying to see if I should say it or not. Since there's a safek, I'm not going to say it. That's what they say. It's better to keep your mouth closed. It was like a nickname to the Democratic Party, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. I feel like I could say it. Like, I call them demonic. I don't have a problem saying that. This I felt was worse. So I'd say it's not worse. I'll tell you. You see me just work. I mean, that's such a beautiful lesson for you to learn. You see how I just did that in my mind? That's how you need to do in your mind. You understand? When you make decisions, or you're not sure about something, or there's something in your heart telling you, maybe don't say it, review the situation. It can be the Satan trying to protect his criminals. What do you know? You don't know, so you have to review it. So after reviewing it in my mind, I'll say it. He was talking to some Democrat, and he was telling me how he was trying to explain this, whatever. And he called him a liberal giggling fool. Yo, I like that, yo. I like that. You know why? And I'll tell you why I like that. Because they're demonic. They push abortions in the third trimester. Yo, I'm going to tell you something that my boy Dave, I say him by name to give him credit for what I'm about to say. So if you're one of my listeners and you listen to this and you like it, the credit goes to my boy Dave G. So he was saying how some of these things are orchestrated, these school shootings, or that they allow it to happen because it's in their interest to get votes. And then, so I said, can't be. So he goes to me, can't be? It can't be? I said, yeah, it can't be that they're like knowing kids are dying and they don't care. He goes, what are you talking about? Abortions, bro. The baby's in the belly, they're killing it. What are you talking about? And I said to him, you know what? You're right. You're right, because you see that right there in front of you. So would you have mercy on somebody that wants to kill babies? No. So I guess you could call him a liberal giggling fool. But I don't like to get around any of this negativity. So the truth is, if I really had to, like in my own life, say it to somebody, I don't think I would say it. Demonic, though, I like. Demonic, I don't know. Demonic just seems so much more fitting. Because liberal giggling fool, you kind of make him sound like he's an idiot. He's not. He's very clever. He's very cunning. So that's not even a good description. That's really what it is, yo. I like the way I broke that down. I hope you liked it too. But the the bottom line is they go against God. They do everything in their power to undermine the very fabric of morality. That's what they do. I promise you they do it. They do it with transgender. They push that. They push being gay. Even, God forbid, going with animals. They'll say, yo, live and let live. People are mentally not stable in their brain. You know why? Because of sins. And because of those sins that they committed, an evil spirit went in their heart. And I'm going to tell you what their sin is. Like, God is telling me to tell you this. God willing. The reason why that they do it like that, yo. Because God knows that these people are so psychotic, bro. And they allow their soul to be hijacked by the Satan. And I'm going to tell you what the sin, I almost lost it for a second, but I'm going to tell you right now. This is their sin. Their sin is they try to act more merciful than God. And for that, they're going to get demolished, bro. Because God will yell and scream, don't be gay. And they'll come right away with a sign. What are you talking about? He's the nicest guy. Mind your business. He doesn't hurt anybody. He goes against God's laws. What are you talking about? That's already too much for us. You understand? We could talk to him with love. There was somebody in my family, they told me that's transgender. I don't even know this person because I don't speak to that side of the family. She married a goy. Nice guy, I'm not going to lie, but still going against God, you know? And now look, Hashem gave her a child that's transgender, that's transitioning to be a man. So I told my cousin, I said, if I was in front of her, you know what I would say to her? I said, what you're doing is so disrespectful. You know why? Because you're declaring to the world that God isn't God. That's exactly what you're doing. You're like declaring, you're shouting out to the universe that when God made you, he made a mistake. I would explain to her that she could have been a man in her last life. Can happen. Souls come back, get reincarnated. That's guaranteed. I prove it to you. Look at any little kid. You see his personality at 3 years old, bro. This guy steals. This guy's scared to death to steal. And they're twin brothers. Come on. Use your head a little bit, yo. Baby being blind is such a great example. Because if you're saying that it's not reincarnation, what you are saying is that God made a mistake. And I would be very, very careful to say that. Because even if you doubted God with 50% of your soul, I still wouldn't take a chance. With 1%. Imagine if you thought, like so many Jews do, that God's not real, it's all made up, they made it up to scare you, the Satan, bro, when he gets in you. And how does the Satan get in you? From sins, bro. Listen to what I'm telling you, man. Hashem is directing my mouth to speak in this video to tell you that the sins will smash your peace. Look. You're gonna see, man. So let's go back to this school shooting, yo. This kid allowed the Satan to get in his heart with hate. Even if he got bullied. If you get bullied, I would tell you, yo, you could fight back to protect yourself. If they put their hands on you, you could fight back. So I would get strong and fight back. But that's not the real solution. The real solution is find out if you bullied somebody. Think about it. You know how many kids I know that bully people, and then when they get bullied, they play so silly, like they have no idea. And you tell them, this is why you got bullied, and they still deny it. They'll try to just, no, that's not really bullying, whatever. They're trying to and I'm like, come on, bro, you don't see. And when you start letting this hate in your heart, because now you know where the hate comes from, it's like you start hating God forbid, because now you're thinking it's not justice. What's happening to you is not fair, and you're going to develop a hate for God. That's exactly what happened to my nephew, yo. Now I figured it out right now. I was talking right now. Absolutely. I just figured it out, yo, because he doesn't see the justice. So now that he doesn't see the justice, the Satan right away is going to come up to him and say, you see, look at this school shooting. There's no God. If there was a God, he would have prevented it. He allowed it. He's psychotic. He murders. He's vicious. He's a monster. And you're going to give me a whole speech how he's the worst God that ever lived, and then you're going to swear on the Bible he doesn't exist. Come on, bro. The Satan got you confused, homie. Confused. You got to be like me. You got to sit back and take a look at the world. First, you got to know that you're in a ball rotating in the middle of space, and the only place where the human race can exist around the sun. That's how you rotate. You understand? That's the biggest miracle right there. Think about that, yo. Just think that right now you're in a ball in the middle of space rotating around the sun. Stop. That's enough to make any human being understand that somebody made this world. And you see karma, the test, emotion, life and death, reincarnation, how things all tie in together. Once you have that solid foundation, like I just told you, every creation has a creator. Nobody created God because he already existed. Like every answer will be readily available to your brain. And once you have that solid foundation, no matter what you see, you're going to know that God is the king of the universe, yo. Look back in the Torah, the punishments in the first temple, the second temple. You think the Holocaust was bad? Well, you didn't think in the second temple with Beitar it was just as bad? It was. There's stories in the second temple, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, the Romans came and would slice a mother's baby, snatch it from her stomach, yo, rip it out, yo, at like 8 months, and then bang his head against a tree and kill it in front of the mother. Think about it, but you don't understand, bro. You'll never understand. You'll never understand that these kind of punishments, what I just described, how crazy is that Hashem would do that to his own child? Yes. First we have to see who this child was. Rewind back in his last life. Maybe he murdered. That's why he got murdered. What do you know? You don't know, bro. You don't know, man. Again, if we debated, I could debate you for eternity. The bottom line is, I'll say it's God. And when you deny that what happened is justice, you deny God. And I feel bad for you if you do that. Instead of denying God, look with your eyes and analyze the situation. Did God say in the Torah that that a Holocaust would come against the Jews for forsaking his covenant and leaving him, and that he would astir panai, I would turn my face? And there was a rabbi in the Holocaust cried out to God, how could you turn your face on us? And Hashem answered it, because my children turned their face on me. You didn't want my Shabbat. You angered me. Think about it, bro. I gave you good proof of kings of Israel. These are the kings of Israel representing the nation of Israel. Ammon slept with his mother, Achav, Menashe, Achaziah. Come on, man. Achaziah, yo. Shut down the yeshivot so the kids couldn't learn, because that's what gives Hashem the most joy. The little kids learning his word, because he knows that's the next generation. All Hashem, you know what's crazy? Hashem is shaking up the world with earthquakes, tsunamis, and wildfires, and sinkholes, and mass shootings, and because he wants peace. Think about how deep that is. The only way he can get peace right now is if he shakes the world violently to wake us up. To wake us up. Yo, it's gonna be a battle between the good and the evil, and you see it already playing out. You've seen it with Trump in the election, yo. It was right there, right down the middle. Hashem split the world. Who was for God and who was against God. Hashem already did it. So you already got identified. Just like he did when they kissed the golden calf, their lips turned gold. Yes, sir. Go check, go read, go study, go increase your knowledge in the knowledge of God. And it will bring joy to your heart like I have right now, man. And I really do. I really do, because when you let the Satan enter your head for a second, you're mad at somebody, you see somebody that you don't like, you give them a dirty look. Now the next 2 hours of your day is destroyed for what? Because you let the hate enter your heart. And you know who the hate is? It's a devil. There's a demon and his name is hate. And he enters your heart, yo. And when he enters your heart, he can enter your heart in many different forms. It could be a hate for this guy Joe. It could be a hate for this girl Larissa. It could be a whatever it could be, bro. Don't let that enter your heart, because when it enters your heart, it's gonna destroy you. That's why I love when my mother wears the shirt I gave her. Hating destroys the hater. What a great shirt, yo. What a great shirt. And Hashem, with your power and might, you'll get me an investor that would invest in my ideas, for my books, for my t-shirts, for my after-school club, for my boys and girls club, for my school that I want to open. Now with all these mass shootings, yo, you need like homeschooling. I'll be perfect for that. A little mini school, 10 kids, and kill it. You know what I mean? I shouldn't say kill it. Remember I told you, power of speech, yo. Because that's how we say it when I rap. You know what I mean? I killed that. Don't talk like that, bro. That's not good. Just talk about negative things. Talk about killing. Talk about destruction. You only talk about those things when you're here to teach the people that if they don't get connected to God immediately, that's what's coming. That's where it's headed, and you know it, yo. How many people today are already saying out loud with their mouths in front of witnesses that the world is going to end soon? They feel it. What do you think? Even a goy that all day smokes cigars, drinks beer, and chases after women, he'll be on the corner saying that. You know, the world got to, because he'll hear about the school shooting. Even the criminals, when they hear about other criminals, they realize how far it went. Because that's the genius of the Satan. He gets into you, he makes you sin, and then he abandons you. You know what's amazing? I'm going to tell you what's crazy. After you commit a sin, right, you feel so guilty. You know why? Because God wasn't with you when you committed the sin. His Shekhinah left you. So now you are in the hands of the devil. You understand? So you're not even aware of what's going on. Now when the sin is over, you had your pleasure, you're sitting back, and now it hits you. Oh my God, I shouldn't have done that. That's when Hashem returns. And that's why you feel the shame that you feel. And that's why, because think about it, you should just say, yo, you know what? Okay, I did it. I move on with my life later. That's it. It's like, you don't say sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Nah, that's not what happens. You feel bad. You feel guilty. You know why? Because the Shekhinah of Hashem returned. And when the Shekhinah of Hashem is in front of you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, dear God, please, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, maybe in 10 days I'm going to Israel, maybe a little bit more, but please take me there. Strengthen me. Set it up in a way that you will show me what you're already doing, yo. What you're already doing, yo. But just, you know what I need, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They say when you pray, you should be very specific. So I'm going to show you what they mean by being specific. Dear God, please make sure I have a nice sized bed to sleep in, so I can study your word and be refreshed. Dear God, please give me my own space where I can live in peace and harmony with my neighbors. Dear God, always remind me to put my ego low and make peace if it's not life and death. Dear God, make sure I have enough parnasah, or somebody supports me to study Torah. I don't care what it is, but that I never lack in anything I need. And dear God, and this is the most important, I want to say it like King Solomon said it, please give me the wisdom to ascertain the proper judgment that needs to be rendered at all times, whether it's in my life or whether if I help another Jew. I already feel in my heart, excuse me, that I know a lot about how you would judge this. Because when I judge a situation, I judge it how God would judge it. I put myself in the mindset of Hashem, and I know his mind. You're going to come right away, some liberal, I'm not going to say giggling fool, but some dude will come over and say, give me a break. You really believe. Come on. I love when they say, this is my favorite, they made up the Bible as a tactic to scare you into doing the right thing. Yo, nobody had to make that up. It's not a tactic. It's the reality of it. God is warning you 1,000,000,000 times. Yo, don't go against me, because if you do, I'm going to have to smack you. And I don't like to smack my children ever. I like to hug them. I like to give them gifts. I like to take them on trips. I like to make sure that their life is perfect. Yo, this dad the other day, I saw a video of a father that lost his daughter in this mass shooting in Texas. Angels, yo, when I tell you, these are babies that came to the world 3, 4, 10 years, and God takes them away. They're all in heaven. When you die the way they died, kids like that's guaranteed heaven. And if you say, why did they have to die like that? From their past life. It's the only explanation. You could sit with your brain for the next 20 years and you'll never come up with a more viable explanation than sins from their last life. That's it. That's all it is, man. I hope you're listening to this moment in time, because if you are, then you're really getting the full gist of what it is. You know what I mean? I'm going to tell you something beautiful, man. Look, just about the sheltered cities. 3 of them were in the Transjordan, which was right, not Chutz La'aretz, it's kind of considered part of Israel, like attached, annexed to Israel. So let's say not part of Israel because Moshe Rabbeinu wasn't allowed to go in there. So between the Transjordan, where the tribes of Manasseh, half, let me see, it was Reuven, God, half the tribe of Manasseh. Thank you, Hashem. And then the other three were going to be in Israel that Joshua had set up. So this is what it said. It says, first of all, that when the Kohen Gadol dies, then he can leave the sheltered city. And I have to understand why. I've read that a few times, but never really got the real deep explanation behind that. So that's out there in the world for me, Hashem, and I hope you give it to me. I'm making here and so on. Also, I never tied in, I never seen it yet, but Hashem will give it to me about Reuven, what mountain he went on to declare what curse. I think he was the one that declared the curse of not sleeping with your mother-in-law, your father's wife. Yeah, if you're not sleeping with your father's wife. That's exactly what it was. So not that even that he did it, but it was claimed that he did it. So that's what I think it was. He went on, forgot which mountain it was, but he went on one of the mountains, called out the curse that said that. And we learned from that if he was the one that actually did that sin, that he wouldn't be able to, he wouldn't have the merit to call out that curse. Only if he did tshuva, which he did regardless, yo. See, I have to tie that in. I don't have that in my mind the way I want it. It just shows you how deep the Torah goes, bro. It's deep. There's this one guy, bro. Like, you have to be careful when you do this. He has a video where he challenges people to ask him questions. He's like a rabbi. And he's like, it's like Stump the Rabbi, I guess he calls it. And that's very dangerous to do that, yo. Very dangerous to do that because you could embarrass yourself big time. Or you could show your ego that you think that nobody, you know how much information and knowledge is in the Torah. And Hashem will send somebody to ask you like the simplest question and you won't know. And you can lose a lot of respect in the eyes of your listeners for that. You have to be very careful. Don't ever do that, yo. Don't you minimize the Torah when you do that, yo. That's my opinion, my personal opinion. I love you, Hashem. I just try to help your children to be better. Help myself to be better, yo. I dealt the other day with this dog park again. Just lately, I've just been putting on the AC so I don't hear nothing. But I walked by the dog park and there was tape all around it. I thought it got closed down. I was so happy. I went home, didn't put the AC, and I was just chilling. And all of a sudden, and this is the new thing, I guess always between 7:30 and 9, 7:30 and 8:30, yo, there's one or two dogs over there. It's the same dogs, Hashem. You know who the dogs are. And you're not stopping it, and I pray to you so much for that, yo. Because it's so rude. You have no idea. Imagine living in an apartment building across the street from a park with a dog park. And it's not a big park, it's small. So it's like 20 dogs, 10, 15 dogs congregate. It can get wild because they're all fighting. You know what I mean? It's always constantly dust-ups, territorial. You know, they're very territorial. So every time a new dog comes into the dog park, like 20 of them go crazy. But there's a few of them that are just out of control and their owners don't care because it's horrible. And I know you're feeding the pig. And I know you're going to destroy them for the damage they do. I understand that for the smugness. I get all of that, yo. But there has to be a Kadosh Baruch Hu. You know what? Let me keep my mouth shut. Because even the way I'm talking right now can even, the Satan can say, you see, Hashem, he doesn't really trust you or else he wouldn't even question you. You have to be very careful. Better to keep your mouth closed and to trust God because he'll always know what he's doing. Yo, you're going to have a human mind. So with emotions, bribery, biasness, as many different things can factor in. You may get blinded by the Satan and not see the whole picture. You understand? So you have to be very careful. Hashem, I want to thank you so much for letting this video come out good, man. I love you and I love when my videos come out good. Dear God, you know I would be perfect working for any school, for any kiruv organization to help American Jews in Israel get closer to you. Hashem, please put me in a place when I go to Israel where I can help the American teenage population get closer to you so I can take them under my wing and they can fly to the highest heights with me. Because when I delve into your Torah, yo, this is literally like a piece of heaven. You don't understand, yo. You just sit down and just speak and let the words of God flow out your mouth, yo. It's a beautiful feeling, man, because it shows that you're attached to God. And when you're attached to God, you'll never get depressed. It's not that you'll never get depressed, because even people that are attached to God, sometimes the Satan will fool them and they get depressed. But when you're really attached to God, you'll never get depressed. That is true. That is true. It's when you have even a 1% doubt in something that, God forbid, the Satan could creep in. You got to be careful. And I just say it in jest. You know, there's a demon named, what I call him? Hate. There is a demon called anger, though, so it could be the same thing. And that's what it is. When you hate, you have anger. And when you have anger, it's considered as if you worship idols. You know why? Because sometimes you get mad, you pick up things and you throw them. Right away, the Satan brings that item to God and says, look what your son sacrificed to me, to provoke God. Not even to provoke God, just to show him, yo, look what he did. That's it. Then right away, Hashem has to answer for this, yo. Look how humble Hashem is. He set up a situation where he could be questioned. Think about that. Do you know any other king in the history of the universe that would even allow his subjects to even question anything about him ever? Never. The opposite. Hashem gave us the Torah and now said to us, yes, read the Torah, and if you have questions, ask. Don't be afraid to ask. You never ask in a way to disrespect, but you ask if you really want to know. That's what they say. You asking because you're looking for answers, or you asking because you got excuses? Because the Satan is such a genius that no matter what you say, he can deny God. He can just say, I don't believe. I don't accept it. That's it. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You can say, oh, you lost the debate? No, it's not fair. Because in his mind, he knows. In his mind, he knows. But for the camera, for the people, for the show, put your heart on the line, homie, and let us know how you really feel so we can tell you and teach you right from wrong. I'll tell you, God exists. Look at your soul. We know it's in your body because we see you moving around. Obviously, something is making meat. Even your tongue is made of meat. Something is making your tongue move. Bro, you can't speak without your tongue, yo. Bite your tongue and talk. You can't. A piece of meat makes you talk, and that piece of meat is being moved by what? By an energy, and that energy is called the soul. But you can't see the soul. You can't touch it. You can't feel it. You can't grab it. You can't even smell it. But it exists. And that's you in your own body. I just proved it to you. Now you're going to deny God? Come on, bro. Come on, I told this one dude that ashtray has a purpose and you don't. Come on, bro. Don't be silly. Like my boy Billy. I don't even got a boy named Billy. I just made it up because it rhymes, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm going to be doing a lot of music when I go to Israel, but God willing, I'll do just as many videos. Actually more, because I do a lot more videos than I do music. Look at my Heavenly Thoughts page on YouTube, and look at my kica page on YouTube. I think one has 380 videos, one has like, I don't know, 60 or 50. My books, Hashem, my books, yo. Look how Hashem reminds me, yo. Listen to this book I just wrote in my brain, and it's dope. There's a lady pretends that she has dementia, like the onset of dementia, to test which of her 3 kids really loves her. Because it's a big test, yo. When you go through that, yo, you know, your mother could constantly come up to you 10 times and ask you where her dead mother is, like in 5 seconds, and you could be busy. You have to have patience. You have to be loving. You have to be kind. So she wanted to see which of her kids really loved her. So she faked having dementia to test and see which kids really loved her. I don't know what I'm going to call the name of the book. I think it's called Confused with a question mark. But we'll see. Because I had another book that I wrote. There was a woman who had Alzheimer's, and she got confused and started thinking that she kept Shabbat. And that's how Hashem made her keep Shabbat. And the reason he made her keep Shabbat like that, like by getting her sick and then confusing her to do something that she thought she didn't do. Even I get confused talking about it, but you get the point. The point is, he confused her to keep Shabbat to save her soul. Why? Because she was modest. That's why. If you heard the story of Solika that I told in my last video, go listen to it. That's a beautiful story, yo. Something's telling me to tell you this story right now, and I will, and it's so beautiful, man. I hope and pray I get the chance to say this in front of 1 million people one day, God willing, man. Really, for real. Not even live, just on a video. video, yo, there was a rabbi sitting in the middle seat of a flight. And sitting next to him is a 6-year-old little girl by herself. He looks at her, he smiles, she smiles back. He pulls out his Gemara, she pulls out her coloring book. She starts coloring, it's like a forest with little birds and trees, and she's coloring. And he's learning about the laws of Orla, about trees. And how in the first 2 years the fruit's not ripe, so you can't give it to God because it's disrespectful. There's an evil spirit that rests on the fruit for the first years. Very deep stuff he's learning. And the flight takes off. And all of a sudden, about 1 minute into the flight, the engine starts sputtering, the plane starts turning, flipping, this, that. They can see everybody on this plane understands it's about to take a nosedive and they're about to die. There's no doubt about it. And the rabbi is like so nervous. He closes the Gemara, he gets up, he starts praying, confessing sins that he did 20 years ago. And this little girl is coloring like nothing is going on. Nothing. She is so relaxed and calm. But the whole plane is flipping out, crying, screaming. All of a sudden, the plane kind of settles, steadies, and continues on like nothing happened. So this rabbi gathered himself together. His heart was pumping so hard. And he was exhausted, because when the blood is rushing like that, it makes you tired. You know that with the stomach when you eat too much. So he looked at this girl and he said to her, "Can I ask you a question?" So she goes, "Yeah." He goes, "How come you weren't scared?" So she looked at him and she said, "I wasn't scared. I wasn't scared because my daddy's the pilot and he would never let anything bad happen to me. That's why I wasn't scared." Right away, the rabbi woke up from his dream and he realized that he didn't trust God the way he needed to trust God. The rabbi made a vow, even though you should never make a vow. But in this situation, it's allowed because he made a vow to do something holy. So he made a vow and he said, "May God give me the strength to always know that he's running the show, that he's the pilot, that when there's turbulence on the plane, that he's the pilot, that when the plane is running smooth and everything is beautiful, that he's the pilot." Actually, you know what? I'm going to take that back. The rabbi didn't make a vow. He just said, "Bli neder, God, I promise to always know that you're running the show and that you're the pilot." I like that story, yo. It's a great story, man. It's such a beautiful story. Tell that to the biggest rabbi. Tell that to a 6-year-old girl. It's going to hit him the same, man. Trust me. Gotta trust God. Man, if I was standing in front of all these parents who had kids die in the school shooting, but I'm just gonna show you, just to show you how I would handle it through the mind of Hashem. If I had one, like this guy, I'm gonna use this guy that I saw that was hugging his daughter's picture and crying. And he would say to me, why did God take my daughter? Why? She was the most precious. And I would say to him, "No doubt. I know your daughter was the most precious. A girl who's willing to call 911 with a gun pointing in her face to murder her, to stop it, to save other lives, is for sure an angel. So why did it happen?" So I can't tell you why it happened, but this is what I can tell you. Your daughter came to the world to fix what she needed to fix. She had some unfinished business, a payment to God that she had to pay God. And she had to come to this world, finish her test, and leave. And I guarantee you, and this I can tell you on the Bible, God forbid, you shouldn't talk like that, but in a situation like this, you might be allowed to talk like that and say, "Listen, I guarantee you she's in heaven." Think about it. We're in a ball rotating around the sun in the middle of space, in the only space Look, you have karma, you have emotion, you have all these things. You know, if an ashtray has a purpose, you have a purpose. You're in a test. God put you as a test. Reincarnation. Yo, strengthen yourselves in this foundation. And then you're going to know the only reason for all of this suffering is for sins. Sins that she did and the sin that you did. I don't know what sin you did. But whatever sin you did, I can guarantee you one thing. It's cleansed right now. Pray to God to give you the strength, and He'll give you another daughter just as beautiful and just as precious. And He'll probably get up and say, I don't care. I miss her and this and that. And I'll probably hug him so hard and cry so hard. And as I'm hugging him, crying, I would pray to God and say to Shema, ask Hashem to please tell me the right words to tell him. And I would tell him, just please always understand that God is all merciful, that your daughter right now is in heaven being celebrated as a queen. If you could see a video of how happy your daughter is right now, and she's not sad. She's not sad that she's away from you. You know why? Because she knows it's just a matter of time that you're going to be there with her. She just had to leave the world early, bro. That's all. That's all it is, man. Don't let the hate enter your heart, man. Because hating destroys the hater. These are kind of things I would say to this kind of a person, bro. And with my emotion and with the Spirit of God in me, I think I could for sure show some of them that that's exactly what happened, yo. Because to get up and bang on a table and swear that this is not justice would be disrespecting the name of God. And don't you ever do that. Because when you do that, you play with an atomic bomb. Not a fire. I want to make sure I'm clear. An atomic bomb. I love you, Hashem. I appreciate you, Hashem. And I'm not done yet, yo. There's still things on my mind I want to say. Because Hashem put me in a nice spot right now, yo, to just do my video. It came out perfect. It's coming out great. And I love you for that, Hashem. And you know I do. And I got my books right next to me. And I want to say, dear God, you know what I need your help with, Hashem. You know better than anybody in the universe, Hashem, because we all come back to this world to fix what we need to fix. Just please always know I'm trying to work on my ego, Hashem. It's such a test for everybody. And I've been good. Been super duper good. But I still got such a long way to go, yo. It's scary, man. Because that's what it is. If you're not prepared, you could be the most humble guy in the universe, and somebody spills hot tea on you or hits the back of your leg with a shopping cart, I don't know what, something like that, and you're just having a kind of a bad day or you're frustrated, you could blow up right there, yo. You don't know, bro. Hashem is gangster the way it happens. So sometimes, and I usually, thank God, have tons of peace, yo, but now where I'm staying gets a little bit hectic sometimes, you know what I mean? So the strength of God and His might and His power always remind me, Hashem, to put my ego down, low, like water. That's what I like about water. Water, it always goes low. Think about it. Wherever you put water, it's falling. It gets into the crevices, the cracks. It'll keep pushing itself lower and lower and lower until you have to stop it. Be like water. Be like water. Because water is humble. Be like dust. May my soul be like dust to all. You know why? Because when your soul is like dust to all, one day God will make you great and get honored. And you'll deserve it. Because you showed the world that you trust in God. And when you show the world you trust God, they'll honor you in the name of God. Beautiful, Hashem. Don't curse the deaf. You know why I love God? Because instead of God saying in the Bible, don't curse anybody and don't curse anybody behind their back and don't do this and don't say a curse, and that's not what He says. You know what He says? Don't curse the deaf. And by saying don't curse the deaf, that encompasses everything. Because if you can't curse a person that can't even hear you, then who could you curse? Nobody. You understand? Not even behind their back. That's what God, He's deaf. He can't even hear you. It's like talking behind his back. Cannot do it. Don't curse the deaf. See, a regular fake guy would write, oh, don't do. make up all this extra stuff. He'll get caught up in his own intelligence, bro. That's what it says. Don't be too smart for your own good. We know a few of these people. It can be very dangerous, bro. Ay, Hashem, 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 bless the nation of Israel, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bless Israel. Yo, please don't ever talk bad about Eretz Israel. Even if you're a Muslim, don't talk bad about Eretz Israel. I'm giving you good advice, homie. Trust me when I tell you, man, because those that curse Israel will be mega cursed, bro. It's not just a curse, man. It's a curse. It's like God's house, bro. And then Jerusalem, forget about it, bro. That's his study chamber. Only the very few are allowed to enter. Can you imagine one-on-one with Hashem studying Torah? That would be so dope. Yo, that would be like the dopest thing in the history of the universe times infinity, yo. Like sitting one-on-one and Hashem teaching you all the secrets. Yo, secrets that would twist your head back. Secrets that in this world you cannot. You cannot contain that knowledge. That's why it says not to teach the Torah to the Goyim. By the way, if you are Goy, a non-Jew, I love you. But you cannot listen to my videos, yo, because I tell secrets about God in my videos. And it says, do not teach the Torah to the uncircumcised. And since you're uncircumcised, you cannot listen to this. And if you tell me, oh, you got circumcised in the hospital, no. It has to be, you have to be a Jew. You have to either convert to Judaism or be a Jew to taste from the Torah. You know why? Because he gave it to the Jews. That's why. The general things you can study, yes, that is true. But the mysteries and the secrets of the Torah were only set aside for the Jews. Remember that. So if I teach on this page and you want to go and learn from it, and I gave you a warning not to, that's on you, my brother. If you really care about Judaism that much, that you really want to learn about it, convert. You know what I mean? And then you can study for yourself, just like I do. Dear God, I love you. I will always love you. I wish and pray and I hope with every ounce of fiber in my body that I never get frustrated again, that I'm always in a state of calmness. Noach matzah chen b'nei Hashem. Noach found favor in the eyes of God. If you take the word Noach and you flip the letters, it spells chen. You know how you find favor in the eyes of God? You know how you find chen b'nei Hashem? Tia ben Noach. Be relaxed. Be chill. That's how you do it. And may I always have the merit to put my ego low, let it go, and know that you're running the show. Nobody else runs the show. Not the angels. And if you see an angel has power, he has power only because God endowed him with that power. You understand? I tell everybody I meet, don't say I swear to God. Don't say, yo, God, yo, don't do that, bro. Don't take the name of God in vain. It doesn't say don't say the name. It says don't take, meaning don't ever say it. Pray to God and he will answer you from where you are. You know why? Because he's everywhere. So wherever you are, that's where he is. Hashem, when you take my tongue and give me the merit to speak your word, I bow down to you. I prostrate myself to your word. And I love you even more for that, yo. I promise you I do. And sometimes I sin against you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and I apologize for that, yo. Sometimes I'm not the perfect Jew like I want to be. And to be perfect, what? You be an angel if you be perfect, homie. It's almost impossible to be perfect, but it's how hard are you striving to be perfect. That's really what the test is, you know what I mean? How badly do you want it? How badly do you really want to get to heaven? How badly do you really, actually, you know what? Let me rephrase that. How badly do you really want to honor the name of God? Because by honoring the name of God, that's how you get to heaven. understand? Beautiful. Love you, Hashem. Always and forever.